crashed.
Here they come off the corner, and Darrell Waltrip is trying to go by on the inside of Davey Allison, and Davey comes down to try to block that move, and just some contact there, and just as soon as that car touched the grass, it flew. Turned over.
Now they're not. Are they required to run the skirts on the right side of the cars here like they do at Daytona and
I don't
Talladega?
believe so, man.
And you can see that once the air got up under the right side of that car, it just flipped it the wrong way. I'll say the wrong way against the momentum that the car had.
Trouble behind Rusty Wallace is turning over.
Rusty Wallace 20 feet in the air, spinning, crashing.
Well, I'll tell you, when they're running that close together and jockeying around position, you just know that things like this are going to happen.
Let's see, there's the 30 car. It's hard to tell. They were so close together. Anyway, the 30 and the 66 go over, tag Rusty. Watch the car. The minute the air gets under, inverted wing up in the air.
You know, I think from the blimp we may get it. I think that is where you're going to see it. Look at this Wallace car just disintegrating. Look again here.
Well, there's Neil's
Right
car
up
back,
over
right up over
Musgrave.
it, yeah. And he gets hit by, it looked like the 41 car of Phil Parsons. Or maybe Phil got by and didn't hit him. It looked like he was coming right into it.
So when you saw the Musgrave car from those onboard pictures.
They come through the tri-oval. Checkered is waving. Ernie Irwin wins, and Rusty spins and gets airborne and flips wildly right at the start-finish line. Very reminiscent of his accident at Daytona.
One away.
Yeah, he's moving. I see him moving around in the car. I saw that. We see his head moving around.
Yes, we do.
Oh,
Now here is what happened.
Okay, there's Rusty and Dale Jarrett running side by side. Earnhardt comes down on the inside, trying to draft Rusty and go right out of the picture. And it looks, there he is. Earnhardt right up on the back bumper of Rusty, and he does touch him.
That's
and
why
around he goes. And that's one reason that Dale Earnhardt went down there.
That's why he was so concerned, because he touched Rusty Wallace to start this situation, it looks like.
And the car overturns about 6 or 7 times, pirouetting on its nose, end over end, side over side, comes to a rest on its wheels between the start-finish line and turn 1.
Take a look at what happened here that's brought out the second caution of the day.
There's Stanley Smith in the middle in the black car. They were running 3 abreast going into that turn, Ken. There's the car number 1 of Rick Mast.
There is one car that has gone over the wall, as you see in that. And we'll get that for you in a moment. Loy Allen's car was involved. The Richie Petty car was involved. And there are the remains of the car that went over the wall.
And it looks like someone standing there with a helmet, Ken.
And got out of that.
Let's hope that is the case. The helmet goes off. And boy, if that's the case, that is very, very good news.
I believe that is Horton for sure. See, there's the bank that it came down. Jimmy Horton, the Active Trucking Chevrolet, who had started 24th today, taking this nasty ride out of the track. I can't remember the last time we saw a car out of a speedway, Ned.
No, I can't either. It's been a long, long time. It dates back to the day. Yeah, you can see the number 32 on the side of that car now. And it did land on its wheels. At first, it looked like it was upside down, but the top and the deck lid, just in the hood and all of that, had just simply been ripped away from the car.
Well, it was side by side with John Krebs.
Oh.
John Krebs goes, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Out through there in front of Derek Cope.
And the car overturned several times. So our concern isn't about Derek Cope. He's okay. Our concern is John Krebs.
Just about like running an event in a pizza oven, and there's been...
And there's a spin. There's trouble.
Car upside down. Schrader. Schrader's number 25, side over side, end over end. Another car in trouble and also getting airborne.
Terry Labonte is involved. His car spinning around on the grass. There is Elton Sawyer spinning around. Rusty Wallace there. There's Lake Speed. There's Rick Mask.
Bobby Labonte is up against the wall. Here's another angle.
You can see it had already started to happen there.
Craven coming around and spinning the 41. Mayfield, you see he has bounced off the 18 in Schrader's car.
So there's no place for those other cars.
Disassembly. In cars now at normal speed. You saw them in slow motion.
A bad crash here at Talladega. Just a very, very bad crash. Mark Martin is involved. So is Rusty Wallace, Brett Bodine, Elton Sawyer. One car overturned in the banking of turn number 1, got up into the catch fence and came back onto the racetrack. I don't know who it was at the moment, but this is a very, very ugly looking crash. Here it is again. Take a look. It's going to happen up front with Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin running side by side.
Okay, Martin goes a little high there. Gordon gets into him. They both have to back off, and then the jamming up starts, and they get into the wall on the outside. Others start jockeying around. There's Derek Cope. He thought he got through that for just a moment, but Mark Martin's going to come right back up in front of him. And is that Ricky Craven?
Yes, it is.
Ricky Craven in car number 41 that's flipping over, went up against the outside wheel fence, back down on the track, and was hit again.
Yeah, he got hit again as the car was rolling toward the apron of the racetrack. So Ricky Craven is certainly one that we have a great deal of concern about.
Okay, that's Bobby Hillen in the car 77 down on the inside. It looks like he and Brett Bodine got together. Here comes Bobby Labonte. He's going to hit the Brett Bodine car, roll over on his top, slide down the track on his top, then it'll flip back onto the wheels.
That had to be an eternity for Bobby Labonte. You could see him lock it up in the 18 and try to fight his way to the bottom to get out of this mess. And that's the result. Earnhardt on the inside and Sterling Marlin outside.
And Ernie going with Earnhardt down on the inside. That's going to hit. Oh, he got trouble.
Terrible crash. Front of the field all torn up. Earnhardt's car destroyed. A major crash. Sterling Marlin taking off the gloves. Earnhardt's number 3. And Earnhardt is on his feet. Dale Earnhardt attempting to walk to the ambulance. Never, never doubt that cliche about Dale Earnhardt. One tough customer. Gives the thumbs up as he walks away from one of the worst incidents in his racing career. Net.
Well, you can see Earnhardt is leading. Ernie Irvin trying to pass the 4 car of Sterling Marlin, touches him, shoots the left front of Marlin's car down into Earnhardt. Earnhardt into the wall, and then since they were at the front of the pack, lots of other cars came along and got involved.
Earnhardt rolling over in that incident. Another angle.
Boy, as close as it is, you see Earnhardt's car gets upside down, gets hit there by
Robert Presley. Robert Presley in the 33 got into Earnhardt when he was upside down there.
But Cope was the first one, got him in the roof. Derek Cope in that 12 tangled with him as well as it was spinning and crashing.
Well, one thing he'll do, Dale Earnhardt watches the gauges very closely, so if it is a problem...
Oh, there's trouble. Car out of control all the way up and over is the number 29.
Robert Presley.
Around goes Presley, and he picks it up.
I don't think I've ever seen a car go up in the air, completely turn over and land back on the wheels and never touch any part of the sheet metal of that car.
Gets turned right in here.
several cars that Terry Labate and he were right close together, and then he came and look how high it goes in the air, makes a spin, sits back down on all four, but rest assured it did a lot of damage to the undercarriage of that race car. Took Scooby-Doo for a ride, didn't he?
I'm telling you.
Another view.
You can see him in trouble here. You see the back come up in the air. It hits right on the nose there, but look when it comes down. Watch the back of the car. That is a severe lick. I guarantee it bent everything under the undercarriage there.
Good thing he landed on the pavement, not on the grass. And he still hit the right Saint.
Here goes the pass. Gordon making a move on the inside of Earnhardt. Oh, Jarrett's loose.
Down the back straightaway. Big trouble. Earnhardt out. Up and over number 3. And for the 19th time, Lady Luck deals a bad hand.
Watch him come
Another
through
view.
here. Watch it turn sideways just a little bit. Bam, right into the wall there. Now everybody didn't have time to check up.
I think Ernie got into the back and Terry got into the back of Ernie Irvin. He got the 28 car into the back of the 88. The 5 in there was a chain reaction, as you said, just backed him up. And the result, dire straits for Dale Earnhardt. The hood from the number 28 up over the fence and possibly into the Tiny Lund grandstand, we understand.
And no! Steve Grissom with a horrible crash and fire on the racetrack.
It's knocked the gas tank out of the 41 car. That's what we see blazing over there. I think the gas tank is over against the wall.
This is at the end of the backstretch. Greg Sachs has stopped over there, but the ambulance is on the scene very quickly. The driver involved is Steve Grissom. Just tremendous impact with the wall at the end of the backstretch.
That is not where he made contact with the wall, but I think that would be the gas tank.
I think
have to wait and see.
Yeah. There's not much you can say at this point except let's just hope and pray that Steve Grissom is okay. The fire crew also quickly on the scene. They have that fire extinguished already. You can see the angle of the wall there at the end of the backstretch. Here is a replay.
And we see him back at the very end of the screen. Right there. Right there is the white car. And Spencer sideways, and Steve Grissom trying to dodge Spencer. Just all of a sudden, boom, and look at the car go up in the air. That's the Mike Skinner car.
Yep.
Mike Skinner and Steve Grissom tried to dodge Skinner. I mean, the 23 car of Spencer. And look, there's the gas tank.
Yes.
Hang on a second. I'll show you this gas tank, folks, as it goes across the racetrack. Right up there is the gas tank.
And it makes contact. It impacts the wall and then splits open, and the fire begins.
I think other cars will go through there, and the exhaust is going to ignite. There we see that car. That's Mike Wallace's Spam car. Goes through the gasoline and ignites it as it goes through.
And there is Kenny Wallace as he goes through also. May have made contact there with Grissom's car as it still has not stopped rolling or pirouetting.
We might also tell you that the 37 car of Jeremy Mayfield. Oh my goodness, we've gone through. Big crash, a car upside down here on the main straightaway.
Keep going, it's here, keep going.
I believe.
And the track looks to be blocked. Well, there is one lane. The cars are going by there. There's Brett Bodine's involved.
Bobby Hamilton, Derek Cope.
Hutch Strickland gets going. Bobby Hamilton gets going again.
Now there appears to be a fire on the 96 car.
It's over by the brake master cylinder on the car. Derek Cope, Skittles' car is involved.
The race has been red flagged. Here's what happened.
car, there's the car that's upside down.
That's David Green.
That's upside down?
Yeah. And another car sliding behind.
You ever see David Green, the cat car, coming off the corner, and Derek Cope loses control. He goes up, slams in the 96 car, hard blow to the wall. He gets up on his roof, slides down the racetrack, and somewhere about here it's going to go back on its wheels. There it goes over and on its wheels.
Listen and watch.
Trouble, turn 3. Car spinning up into the wall mid-pack.
It's Dale Jarrett, one of them.
Mark Martin is in it. Elliott Sadler, the rookie, and cars spin.
See Terry Labonte.
Steve Park is in there, 99. Jeff
Burton, yeah.
Joe Nemechek, 42. Sterling Marlin, number 40. Jeffrey Bodine, former winner.
Boy,
Ward Burton, heavy damage on his Pontiac.
Those cars were all running so close together.
And Dale Jarrett trying to win his 3rd Daytona 500. Will not today.
Well, there's Dale Jarrett right there. As they head off in the corner, he goes down on the flat part of the racetrack.
He might have had a little bit of a bump from the 28 car, his teammate, as they went in there.
At 190 miles an hour, it's almost impossible for the brakes to slow the car to miss the incident. You steer for the hole and hope it's still there when you get there.
Boy, that track closed up in a hurry. When one car spun, as close as they were running together, they had to get a lot of other cars involved.
Add Ricky Rudd. Right there at the start of that replay, was there contact between Jarrett and the 28?
Yeah, it looked like there was just light contact, just enough to turn him down on flat and shoot him right back up in front of oncoming traffic.
Another angle. The cars you're watching, Jarrett's already gone at that point.
And just shoots back up across the racetrack right into Terry Labonte. And then other cars, there's Mark Martin in 6 car. There comes Ward Burton in number 22.
Jeffrey Bodine, he was the next to him there.
Robert Presley.
Someone's upside down there.
That was Bodine, I believe, that went on his route. Let's show you Dale Jarrett's view. Well, that showed you which car was upside down.
Brother.
And he started back in the 31st position, so he is definitely on the move.
And we have a car into the tire barriers. That's Steve Park. This is at the exit of turn number 2.
I think that's where Richard Petty hit the wall here a few years ago.
It sure is. Yep, it's a full course caution. First time this afternoon. Comes on lap number 25. Ooh, Park is way up on the tires and the barriers. And here's why we're under our first full course caution of the day, and on lap number 25, Steve Park into the tires, up and over completely in the air, landing on all 4. Steve Park walked away from the incident, and the track is being cleared, and they've done a pretty good job getting that car off the location that it ended up in.
I wondered how this is going to get off, Bob. It's simple. Put a cable on it and pull.
That's right. And disregard what it's on. And here's how they did it. Just simply hook it onto the front end, and boom, there it went.
Pit strategy that they worked out to get him up in the top 10. Oh, another car up on the wall here. It's Ken Schrader. Just like the one car.
Oh,
he stays on the roof.
Yeah. Steve Park landed on all 4s, but Schrader is upside down in exactly the same area of the racetrack that Steve Park had his crash early on. Let's take a look at it. Again, it's just about the same type of crash. He goes over once, 1.5 times, and then rolls back on the hood.
Looked like he was going.
And the 28 of Ricky Rudd comes low. trying to sniff a draft off of Gordon. Jarrett to the outside. All that skirmishing left a clear path for Jarrett on the outside.
Oh, trouble!
Rudd in the wall, hard. Schrader in the wall, hard. Jarrett the winner, Gordon second, and Rudd on his roof for the second time in the Bud shootout, reminiscent of 1984 when his car tumbled in the air. Ricky Rudd, Bobby Labonte wrecked on the final lap. Ken Schrader wrecked.
Wow. That was some action.
That's Rudd on the bottom in the black car.
Bobby Labonte in the green car on the outside gets touched right there. You see him get crossed up and across into Rudd, turns him sideways. See Sterling Marlin, he makes evasive action there. He was also involved in that.
And all three drivers are now just passengers.
Here it is again. Looks like the 40 car got into the 18 maybe a little bit and shot him towards the wall.
In turn one, yesterday afternoon, half hour left in the final practice. You're riding with Elliott Sadler. There's the tire blowing. There's the first time over, second, third. How many times did you go over, Elliott?
I think we ended up 12 times before it was all said and done. It's definitely the scariest time of my life, but I tell you what, the Wood brothers built me a great race car as far as being safe. NASCAR did a great job on the specs, and I'm just happy to be here with you fine people today.
Ward Burton is driving the backup car. He's in qualifying here on Friday afternoon, crashed up in the S's and turned the car over, had to go to backup. Had a really good race car. Here's that qualifying lap Friday afternoon. Gets that left rear in the dirt. The Caterpillar car goes around, backs in the fence, and watch this, climbs that fence and does a slow roll over, lands on its wheels, and Ward got out, threw his helmet, and said, I made a mistake.
Welcome back to Daytona.
It's the big one, gang. It's the big one. It's what we've all been fearing. This kind of racing is going to happen.
A horrible crash on the back straightaway that began when Tony Stewart got turned sideways against the backstretch wall number 20. Jason Leffler all torn up. The defending Cup champion Labonte. Stewart, there's fire underneath the hood of Bobby Labonte's car. He's out. He's okay. This is the view. You see Tony Stewart moving inside his car. Steve Park's car demolished. And Stewart's car flew and then had a car land on it.
It's happened up here. I think that this car right here, man, and look at, is that Stewart's car?
That's Stewart's car. Rode right across the top of Robbie Gordon's car, the four car.
And I think everybody back up and look at it again. I think that the 4 and the 20 may have been that started that.
Stewart was the first car sideways. Here's see why.
Here's the 4 got into the back of Ward Burton, I believe.
And then Burton's 22 got into Stewart.
And
everybody scrambles.
That car is taking a whale of a ride, that 20 car is. It's getting hit. It's upside down. It's hit on its roof. It's on fire.
And here's another angle.
Coming off of turn 2 where we've said that it's the wind. Somebody got into the back of that car right there.
That's Ward Burton right there.
I saw a puff of tire smoke and then everything let loose.
I think that's what started. Somebody got back of Ward Burton off turn 2.
I'm pretty sure the 4 car got into the back of Ward Burton, turned him into the 20 car, and God help all of them because there's no place to go. And you can't see. Here we come off of turn 2 again. Right there. See, Ward Burton got pushed around by that car, and that's the 4 car.
And he got in the back of Tony Stewart. Of course, Tony Stewart going airborne here.
And it was Ward Burton's car being sideways that blocked up the track for everybody behind him.
Boy, and it gets hit by every car in the field, seems like, and Tony Stewart's car just took a whale of a ride. That must be at least 30 cars in that wreck.
Labonte blocks Bobby Hamilton.
Cannot believe that Toyota.
Oh, contact! Bobby Labonte's over. It's the big wreck on the final lap. They're racing back for the win. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Tony Stewart are side by side.
We see Bobby Hamilton, the 55 car, trying to get on the outside of Bobby Labonte. Labonte comes back down the hill, and now all of a sudden they're 4 wide. And Hamilton gets in the left rear of Bobby Labonte's car, and we see the car start tumbling down the backstretch.
And there's not a whole lot you can do. When you're behind that, all you see is smoke and cars go sideways. You just try to hold the steering wheel straight and get through it somehow.
Rode the roof the whole way. Never flipped over. Just on the roof, and that's how it rode the whole way down the backstretch. Hard crash for Benson there. Mike Wallace. There's Rusty Wallace in the grass. Ricky Craven. Oh, trouble! Steve Park is off into the infield. Another car involved. Over on his lid, it's Park and Dale Jr. Terrible crash.
Man, Steve Park's car just turned dead left when he came off turn 2. Junior's running to see his teammate and see if he's okay.
And getting off into that wet grass wasn't going to do anything to slow those cars down. Caution is out. Ricky Rudd will lead the field back to the yellow.
Car, and there's Rusty Wallace. You see Park trying to squeeze up the outside.
I see he was trying to go on the outside of Rusty. Rusty moves up, they make contact, and Junior gets under the one car and just kind of bulldozed him into the wall and over.
Yeah, that's what actually turned him even more sideways. But I'll tell you what, that guardrail did the job.
Oh, it did a great job.
Took a lot of, that absorbed a lot of impact right there.
Watch the yellow car back there just turn left.
And when you hit wet grass, it feels like you pick up 200 mile an hour.
But you can see how that barrier gave way when
absolutely.
that car got into it.
That barrier absorbed a lot of energy, and I'll tell you what, that nice to see happen, because if that were a concrete wall, he would have taken a much harder hit.
Trouble off turn 4. Newman slams the wall. Comes Schrader, and Newman is in the air and over. Ryan Newman, last year's Rookie of the Year. The rear end ripped from the car as he slides down the asphalt, and when that car hit the grass of the tri-oval, Ryan Newman went upside down to the grass and got airborne.
Let's watch her here and see what happens. Oh, Kenny Schrader got out of control, got into him. Oh, that's what happened, Mike. His right rear tire came off. Car goes airborne, then when it hits the ground, it digs in and just rips it apart. Let me tell you, the way these cars are inside, he's like he's in a capsule in there. Gets around right there going down into turn 1. Could be a nut. Oh, my goodness. Upside down,
you're
over.
internet cornered almost 200 miles per hour.
That had to be quite a ride right there. Got to believe something's happened back here. My goodness, boy, does that not tell you how fast you're going?
Well, that's why he's doing what he's doing. He's just mirror driving all over the racetrack.
Oh, trouble. Elliott Sadler over once and a half and on his roof. Now the car tumbling hard onto the pavement in turn 3. Caution is out. A terrible crash.
Hey, okay, man. Okay, guys, back it down. Back it down. We're not racing. Caution's out. There he is, right in the middle.
And these guys are Dyson. Go ahead, BP.
And there he makes contact. He comes down trying to get in front of Kurt Busch. They make contact. And watch that thing fly. Now it lands on that road you talked about.
And then when it gets onto the racetrack again, it takes another nasty flip. Watch this hit. That's the hard one right here. Oh, man.
Yeah, they do. I don't want to be in there in any of them. Man.
Like I said, that car really held up well above the driver.
But you see the hood flopping around in the deck lid, the tethers that NASCAR has these teams installed to keep the hood and deck lid work.
He took the steering wheel off right away. Yeah. That's unbelievable. He had a crash in practice driving for the Wood Brothers a few years ago in Michigan. It looked like that.
And see, that's the problem when you get, like I said, when you start mirror driving, and that's what these guys are doing. They're trying to get in front of each other, trying to make blocks this close to the end of the race. You're not going to give a guy a break.
You know, something I want you to think about as you're watching these replays again. Watch what I think happened is Elliott reacted to Dale Jr. Dale Jr. started to turn left in front of Elliott, and I think Elliott just reacted to that and moved left. And that's when he came across the front of Kurt Busch. I don't think he was trying to block Kurt. I think he reacted to Dale Jr. making a sudden move to the left, and just instinctively...
that could be, but I mean, you're still getting a lot of that going on right now that you don't see any other time of the race.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, I mean, you know, one moves and everybody moves, pretty much.
For him here, he's
trouble. Contact on the backstretch. It's Michael Waltrip and now Brian Vickers. Robbie Gordon, 31. The time. Waltrip's over. 1, 2, 3 times for Michael Waltrip.
Well, there's the big one right there. Took a lot. There's a lot of good cars right there. Is that Sterling Marlin in there?
40 cars in it. That's Michael Waltrip's car, upside down.
Here you see, looks like Johnny Sauter slid up in the 30 car into Brian Vickers in the 25. A chain reaction.
Yes, that's Michael Tuckins. Yeah.
And Biffle, the pole sitter, looks like he barely got through there.
So you see the tire come off of Michael's car, then it got into that grass softened by the rain, and it just dug in, just like we saw Ryan Newman's last year, and sent the car over.
There's Harvick, Kevin LePage, Johnny Benson.
Hey, Chris, we just heard Casey Kane talking to his crew chief, Tommy Baldwin. He said the track is getting tighter. Big track.
Holy cow, the car upside down on the back straightaway.
Carl Long has crashed hard and collected Bobby Labonte in the process.
Man, Carl's car just took a wild tumble. Joe Nemechek.
Oh, he's okay.
Yeah, Nemechek Nemechek was up in that too somehow.
6th caution at lap 263, and there is Carl Long. He is okay. The Al Smith Dodge is a mess. Nemechek and the 46, the blue car, goes skyward there.
Yeah, Nemechek being up under the back of the 46 car lifted it up and got it up on the wall.
It was Mark Martin that turned Bobby Labonte there, and Labonte was way close to that.
Look how high that car got right. It got a lot of air there at one point.
At actual speed.
Just run out of room back there.
I mean, you're probably running well over 150 miles per hour right there in that area.
Good save right there, you all right?
There's Ford Burton there.
This guy's just all squeezed down. He got hit in the right front fender, turned his car inside the racetrack, and the worst thing you want to do with a race car, get on the grass.
The roof flaps deploy, but not enough to keep that 38 on the ground, and Elliott Sadler takes the Talladega tumble.
At least it didn't tumble like he did last year.
He's getting better at this.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he puts on the brakes once it gets in the air, right?
Harvick slides up in front of traffic. Cars upside down, cars everywhere.
Come on.
And turn 4 is Calamity Corner once again. The field is frozen. Jeff Gordon came across with Stewart and Johnson side by side. But there are half a dozen cars littered between turn 3 and the start-finish line.
He's all right.
Last year's third-place finisher, Scott Wimmer. The 29 of Kevin Harvick. 42. The 42 of Jamie McMurray. Watch the 22 of Scott Wimmer, the yellow car, take a wild ride here.
What started at Greg Biffle came down in the 10, or the 10 went up to Greg Biffle. They got together anyhow.
The luckiest man there was Rusty Wallace. Got a little tap, but kept on going.
Now watch Wimmer. Over once, twice, 3 on his nose, 4, wham.
Huge.
Trouble in turn 1.
Oh, car on its roof.
Michael Waltrip. Mark Martin is in it. One of the championship contenders.
Elliott Sadler, the pole sitter of the 38 car.
Heavy damage.
Okay, watch up front. Watch the 48 car. And it just tags the 30. Just tags him. Just doesn't take a whole lot.
Michael coming here.
Poor Michael, he has no place. He makes contact with Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin.
That's what sent him over.
Yeah, Mark's the one that launched him.
Oh, man, those cars just getting by on the bottom side.
And like I said, he just looks like these cars are glued, but it just takes somebody to touch one of these bumpers in the wrong way, especially when you're in the corner. You can do it on the straightaway, as long as your steering wheel is straight, but it doesn't take a whole lot to get them sideways.
Really is a tightrope when you're racing here. I mean,
you've got to respect everybody, and you're so tight all the time.
But we expect to see a new rule before we race against trouble. Multi-car wreck in the front of the field.
Oh, and Scott Riggs on his roof.
Oh, Riggs.
Man, there's been a lot of cars getting on their roof lately.
And I think I said earlier on that the fans loved it in the TV audience, but 43 drivers were not
like it.
Too happy.
The window net did come down on Scott Riggs' car, which is a great sign.
That indicates the driver is okay. Another look.
See how these cars are turning? You can't bump draft somebody when the car is turning.
It's going to be a drag race all the way back to the start-finish line. No caution. They're side by side, right to the line.
Dog crash. Here they come. Checker flag. Kevin Harvick wins the Daytona 500.
We got one car on his roof coming across the start-finish line.
Still wrecking. They're wrecking everywhere. Boyer's on fire. Jeff Gordon's wrecked.
And they are still wrecking.
Montoya, Stremme, Kenseth, Biffle, Marlin, Carl Edwards, Casey Mears all crashed on the final lap. Watch the 07. It'll come in here from the right. In the bottom lane. Clint Bowyer gets slid sideways. Whammo.
And he'll cross the start-finish line unofficially upside down in the 18th position.
On fire. I mean, Joey Chitwood couldn't do that.